Wake up out a dreamer, huh? Grab a lighter, huh? Something like a steamer, huh? Bong ripper, huh? Make sure it's cleaner, huh? Smoke session, huh? Nigga, what you mean, and I be flowing. I get so high, fuck around and never come down. I get so high, I get so high, and I be flowing. I get so high, fuck around and never come down. I get so high, I get so high, higher than we're floating, don't know where we go.
Welcome to Bad News Bears, our very first
experience
with us, and hopefully it's going to be a good experience.
It's going to be a great experience. We're going to educate you guys and talk about topics of all martial arts and self-defense and scenarios. It's going to be great, keep it interesting, fun.
Yeah, going over multiple martial arts from Jiu-Jitsu to Judo, you name it, to cage fighting. We'll talk about relevant topics. We're just going to talk about history,
lineage.
Yeah, and then it's just what to look for in gyms, and you name it. You and I actually have a long history. I mean, it's been about 2.5, 3 years now that we've.
It's going on about 3 years, yeah. But we've known each other for years. From coaching, competing, wrestling. Just everything in combat. You know?
We've coached against each other in wrestling, and actually, I don't think we've coached against each other in MMA, did we?
I gotta think about that because of NAFs. If possibly,
we may have. Actually, we have because of from before you were on some other teams.
Brick House, Evolve.
So we definitely
did compete against each other. 100%.
Yes. So, and once again, I think that's a great thing that shows that this is not war.
Unity.
Yeah, and then, you know what? We can still get along even if we've competed against each other. We can become friends and all. It shows the camaraderie of the sport is in itself.
Yeah, you grow.
Yeah, each and every one of us. So, yeah, I remember you were coaching wrestling, and actually my son was competing against some of your guys
at the Wadsworth Grizzly Open.
At the Open, and then actually
GIT,
and then actually up in Brecksville too. So it's really kind of a neat thing how, and then fate just kind of opened up, and I was looking for
a real gym.
No
offense, but it is,
Well, looking for a gym.
Something that fit you.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing. Whenever anybody's looking for a gym, you got to find something where that fits. This is kind of like a marriage, kind of, so to speak. I mean,
it's family.
It's family. Yeah. The only good thing is you get to choose your family.
True.
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 Your experience, what did it?
Oh, geez. About 5 years old, I started in karate, boxing, wrestling. I mean, I wrestled all the way through school. I've coached 20-something years of wrestling. I boxed all the way through. I boxed 32 times. I kickboxed 16 times. I competed in MMA 20 times. And then I competed in 3 Tough Men. I competed in numerous grappling tournaments, different styles. I coached beginners all the way up to a few UFC fighters already, Bellator fighters, a couple bare knuckle fighters actually.
Yeah,
I actually compete in bare knuckle right now. Since Brick House, I've actually trained 18 MMA champions, 3 boxing actual champions have belts. U.S. World Team coach with you.
Yeah, yes, you were.
In sports jets, got that Ohio House, representative award.
Yeah.
For what we're doing. I mean, I don't know. I got to actually think about it. It's a lot.
Almost too much.
Really? Yeah. It's kind of like when you talk when you're in your Hall of Fame last year when I actually got you representing because everybody thinks it's all this and it took you 3 to 5 minutes to just get half of it out.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
That's the case. So like with you, I've been doing martial arts. Started out and actually doing Native American kind of martial arts. Just and I have family. It's First Nation, so learning how to fight that way, learning some bare knuckle kind of Gaelic fighting. Started out. Of course, everybody I think starts out in karate, at least in the day.
You know what? Yeah, because my dad would really got me in like panicration.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a thing with the boxing, the wrestling, and the karate, and all that stuff. It kind of translated into that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because I am a Greek Italian, that's what a lot of people. That's how we got Aries combat, because Judas.
He's a Greek Italian.
Southern Italy. It's the tip. You see.
And then also German and Hungarian and all that.
It's the same scenario.
That's a combo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I did pretty much similar. Started out very young, and then started into different things. Judo was one of the things I started at a younger age. Followed that through. When I was 16, started boxing. And kickboxing at the time, because, that was all kinds of great. And doing jiu-jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu back when nobody knew Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu existed.
Explain, because everybody thinks this is a fluke or we're lying about your lineage and all this stuff. Okay, explain how this all technically happened, because you're a priest and a doctor.
Oh, I like to wear lots of hats.
Well, yeah, all right. So explain how you went over to seas and how this.
Well,
played out.
actually, so it's kind of interesting. So. Actually, my original instructor was a Pinkerton agent. So he had fought in World War II, Greatest Generation, a catch wrestler, fought across the Pacific, ended up in Japan.
Valley Tudo.
Yeah, and so, he was just a very tough guy. He actually was a pastor as well. And a real tough guy. With the Pinkerton, actually, he had training with Oswald Fada himself, and also with a gentleman name of Baptista, and he down in Brazil actually, and so he had some training with that. So back in the 80s actually, I was learning jiu-jitsu under him, and he had that
was before so-called Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and everybody thinks
at least before it became big in
people just need to know their lineage.
So then what happened, I was learning just jiu-jitsu, but talking to actually a lot of the red belts that I have actually had the honor of training with, it's interesting because when they were learning jiu-jitsu. They weren't learning a particular style. It was jiu-jitsu. It happened to be so. Everybody
has their own flair to it.
Yeah. So, but anyway, and it wasn't actually until the UFC started
early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s. That actually anybody realized Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was really something that was very different. And it was then that I realized that, I guess what? I do have a Brazilian line.
You're already a world champion by this time.
Well, by that time I had competed one of the first World Cups for the IJJF. And I had won the World Cup at my weight class.
Then trained with all of the Gracies.
Well, I trained with not all of them, but there's a good number of people, very good number. So, which I've been very proud of my Fada lineage, and I was just awarded a coral belt under Jose Aquino Nunez, and. It was an honor because my instructor had passed away, and so it was nice to be able, and he had the exact same line that I had. So it was truly an honor to be able to keep that. But yes, I've trained with lots of Gracies. I've rolled with lots of.
Obviously, they're liking our podcast and calling the gym now.
And so, and most of these guys are really, really good guys.
Well, everyone's good. True martial arts don't need to be tough. You are tough.
Well, they don't need to act tough.
Yeah, or act. Yeah, you don't. It is what it is.
Yeah, and that's something I always told my kids is that, you can always tell the toughest guys in the room because they're usually the nicest guys, and they're the ones that are going to help you with, You know, they may kick your butt out on the mat, and
About
then
life.
but you know what? They're going to tell you, you know, you go up and, oh my goodness, I love that, whatever, what you get me in, and they'll help you. And you know that's true in wrestling, it's true in boxing, it's true pretty much straight across the board.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's one thing, especially with you coming around also over the last couple of years, and as I've been learning to the transition of truly being 100% coach, non-competitor. You helped me with that a lot. You know, and that's why my little flair, my energy. That's why I'm definitely the punk kid from the Bad News Bears, and you're the coach. You know, because I'm just that. I'm new school, old school, but we meet.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places out there that are old school. They teach an old school style, or they're teaching the new school style. Actually, what we do is we teach the high percentage stuff.
What wins?
What wins, and
what beats the style?
Yeah. So, and that's something that's kind of different out there. And, you know, because we actually bring such a wide variety of different styles and approaches. And, you know, a lot of people may not like the style, but definitely
It's effective.
So. Hello, my name's Brian Walsh, and I am the so-called expert in martial arts. Been doing it for 45 plus years. Been a black belt in jiu-jitsu for 30 plus. In multiple styles. I am a 7th degree black belt in USA Jiu-Jitsu, a 6th degree in Eki Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido, a 6th degree in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under a Fada lineage, and USA Jiu-Jitsu as well. I have a 4th degree in traditional Kodokan Judo, and then a bunch of minor belts along the way as on my journey through martial arts in that very long lifetime. Here's my original belt. This is 25 plus years old. It's well torn up and looks pretty faded and all. I have another one that's even older. However, this was my very first Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt. Actually, in the day, these were actually really hard to find. Last October, I was awarded my coral belt. This is very rare. One of my former instructors way back in the late 2000s actually gave me a congratulations, telling me that it's like less than 1% of living jiu-jitsu players actually ever reach to this level, or probably will reach that level. Each one is an important step. I mean, as you go through your journey, whatever you do, throw your heart and soul into it. Do what you love, because this is going to become a lifetime thing. And whatever the system you enjoy, do it. Embrace it. Have fun. And truly, it truly changes your life. It changes who you are.
Used to not be allowed in the building, but now we on the rooftop. Used to not be allowed in the building, but now we on the rooftop.
Hey Dave, what do you think the top 5 things to look for when you're going for a school and you're deciding MMA, BJJ, whatever?
Honestly, you have to look at like your lineage or what your goal set or what your background is. You have to find where you're weak at, where you fall into place. You need to have steel, sharpened steel.
Yes, so you definitely have to look at the quality of the instructors,
yeah.
See kind of what they, what level, whether they're black belt or
The competitor, or if they're actually a retired fighter, they're actually 100% going to give you their time to be an instructor and skill set, and actually focus on you 100%.
Yeah,
You can't be 1/3 in and call yourself a coach. You can be a mentor and a training partner, but being a coach, you have to be looking out for the best interests. You have to be looking out for always for the best opportunities to exploit and build your business and build their brand.
Well, I agree with that very much so, because fighters, to be a good fighter, you have to be selfish. You need to look what's going to make you better. As a good coach, as a good instructor, you're always looking at the other individual and trying to make them shine as best as possible. But a lot of those people have to think too is, are you wanting to do this recreational? So possibly a YMCA might be good, or some of the other schools might be good if you're just looking to do this as
Part-time, yeah.
Yeah. But if you're looking to be a fighter, you're going to have to look for...
Or be competitive.
You got to look for a competitive
Competition school. And that's,
Yeah.
I think we do a really, especially in northeastern Ohio, Midwest, I think we're really, the reason why we're coming up is we cover all angles, and now we're branching off and with our coaching staff and the knowledge and the mixture of things we're developing now. I believe we're be able to touch a little bit of everything at the highest and the beginner all the way up to the highest levels, like UFC, Bellator, 1FC, whatever. I think I really, that's why people are reaching out to us.
Yeah. Yes. And so with us too is, I think we're good that we have the ability to have combatives. We have people that are coming with Army and Special Ops and
Champions.
and
Everything.
Yeah, so knowing when to be able to say, oh, this move is good for tournament scene, where this move is definitely better for battlefield.
Yes.
And then being able to differentiate between those two.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's you got to know, you got to pick your mud. I always say in these little videos I do, you got to really pick your mud and understand how you're applying it, and when it's good against an actual style or a feel, or how they're attacking you, or what energy they're bringing to you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because that actually makes a very huge difference.
I'm excited. February the 15th, we have two of our pros. Sean Rawl, he's fighting in West Virginia at the Mount Air Casino. He's fighting a really tough Roosevelt Archie. Good Thai fighter. It's a good matchup for us. I'm looking forward to get Sean, because Sean actually bought into the system now, and Sean's really starting to sharpen up. He's learned the hard way because he was trying to do it his own way. He beat himself a few times, and he is looking to finish this thing out correctly. So I'm excited for him. He's an old school vet. One of my old training partners at Brick House would build up the Human Weapon. He's been around. Actually, Devontae Smith fights in UFC that trains here that I started years ago with me. Training partner, and we got another pro, Marcus Washington. He's gonna be coming in. Marcus Crawford. He'll be turning pro here soon. He just got his brown belt in BJJ. And then moving on to Corey Hardcore Bruckner. He was a 2-time amateur champion.
He'll be on this card.
The same card, yes, sir. He was a 2-time national champ. This is his third professional fight. He was 7-0 as an amateur for me. He's actually deaf. I had learned sign language. That's why now I'm always talking with my hands now, because I had learned actual sign language. I have a very interesting relationship with him. He's from Boardman, Ohio. He travels 2-3 hours a day to come and train with us.
Yeah.
I feel honestly Corey at 125 flyweight can be a prospect in UFC level, Bellator, or go overseas to one fighting championship, 1FC, what you want to call it. Risen, I believe he could compete at all these levels in time, being finely tuned. And then the next scheduled fighters, we got March the 7th. We got 3 fighters going. We have Dontel Childress, Chili is competing, coming off his first victory. He's 1-0 by knockout. And then we have the Spartan Cody Lewis competing in his third fight. I'm excited for him. He's a good prospect. World
Yeah, he's
competitor.
world champion 3 times
Yeah.
over.
Judo nationals.
Yeah, so he's quite talented.
And then now, not to forget, Damone the Hawk Hawkins. He's going to be competing for the Cage Thunder
Title.
welterweight title, 170-pound title. I'm excited. He's got a couple more fights, and he's going to be turning pro.
Yeah.
So, he's a high level. All these guys are high-level prospects. I'm excited for these next 5 fights. And then more contracts, more pro fights, more things are going to announce here real soon. We're working on with everything else. Bad News Bears experience. You guys can get it right. Let's go.
I try to be what you want. Never did it for me.